Well, hello there, Leo. How are you? It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So, today we are going to check in with Spirit and see what is on the horizon for you. We'll first take a look at the overall energy with the oracle cards, and then we'll move to the tarot for more details. I am not kidding, Leo. I'm sticking with this. I've had to start this reading 3 times. So, it's kind of like we're going to stick it out. We're going to see what it is that they are wanting to say, because I have a feeling it's big. So I'm just going to try to stick with it this time. All right, so let's get back on track. I feel like perhaps if you are feeling like your own energy is very fragmented, okay, that is showing up in the reading already. So it's kind of like, let's maybe even take a deep breath and allow ourselves to ground our energy so that we can receive the message that I feel like you are truly being called to receive. So, okay, we're going to first take a look at the overall energy with the oracle cards, and then we'll go to the tarot for more details about any obstacles on your path or areas of resistance, and of course, advice from Spirit. Okay, let's see what we have here. Faraway places, get ready for new horizons. And Panther Spirit, reclaim your power. And this is really powerful. It's the number 44. So it's a master number. And 4s are all about grounding and building solid foundations. Okay. Building things. Okay. That could be building a relationship, building an actual building or a business, or I feel like this is the foundation for something big in your life. Okay. Now, with the faraway places, the thing here is that for some of you, you could be moving, okay? You could actually be moving, or traveling. But if you're not, if you're like, no, that's not really going to happen, it is definitely about stepping out of your comfort zone. And part of it is that you are being asked to ground yourself. And I think it's about grounding yourself in your core values. For some of you, you may feel like you're flipping and flopping between like a newer version and an older version of yourself. So it's the energy of getting really grounded in this newer version of yourself. Okay, so I feel like you've gone through some huge transformation and you're in this newer version of yourself, but it's not familiar enough yet. So you may be reverting back to an older version of yourself. Okay, so let's put it in context. Say you have gone through a major transformation, and Leo, from doing your readings, I know that you have. So you could be like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, right? But you're new to being a butterfly. So sometimes you can embrace your butterfly energy, but other times you're kind of like reverting back to your caterpillar days. Okay, so say you're wanting a new romantic partner in your life, right? So you're trying to manifest a new romantic partner, but you may be recognizing that you're attracting in people that would have been more suited for that older version of yourself. And you could be really either frustrated, right? Because it's kind of like, well, I'm trying to attract in romance, but I keep getting people or situations, jobs, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest that really kind of met my older version self. So it's kind of like understanding that's because your energy isn't truly grounded yet in this newer version. I feel like there's something about slowing down, okay, and allowing yourself to get really comfortable with this newer version of yourself so that it becomes feeling more like familiar, okay? So that you can first get used to being a butterfly, not a caterpillar, being a butterfly before you actually try to manifest new people or new situations into your life. So let's say that you're trying to manifest a new job, or you're trying to build your own business, or you're trying to manifest a romance. But if you're seeing that, well, I just keep getting more of the same of the older version, or no options are available, nothing's coming in, right? It's about allowing yourself to just be this newer version of yourself. Perhaps that means spending more time with your spiritual practices, spending more time creating your own essence of yourself, getting more used to who you are in this newer version of yourself before you actually try to bring in new people or new situations. It's almost like, I feel like part of the thing is that you're thinking, well, if I could attract in a new romantic partner that was spiritual, like I am wanting to be in this newer version of myself with this higher upgrade, right? Then it would be easier. Okay. Or if I could attract in a client or something, or a job offer, or a business, or expand my business, then I could be more spiritual, or I could be more of this newer version of myself, right? But it's the opposite. It's kind of like getting really good with being a butterfly before you try to attract in new people and situations. And I actually don't think that it takes that long. It's kind of like, all right, I'm going to put some time and energy into this, of really kind of getting into your solid core values, picking out those core values that are really important to you, and designing your days or your life around that. It's so interesting how I feel like the energy has truly changed. It's not so fragmented, because yeah, in the middle here, this is your obstacle intention. It's, what is your true intention? Is your true intention to be, oh, this is like a crossroads. Like my heart chakra is just like tightening up. It's kind of like truly understanding that you're kind of a little bit at a crossroads. It's as if you were still in the cocoon. Maybe the cocoon is starting to break up, break open. Sagittarius had this in theirs too, but yours is different. Part of you is just like, no, I'm just going back to that older version. I don't want to be a butterfly. I just want to be a caterpillar. That was so much easier. That was so much easier than this butterfly version of myself. I know that, right? I know how to be a caterpillar. I'm not sure I know how to be a butterfly. And it's understanding that I feel like it's about giving yourself a little bit of grace, not being quite so frustrated perhaps with the process of allowing yourself just those baby steps into this newer version of yourself, and allowing yourself to get more comfortable with being a butterfly before you, retreat back to being a caterpillar. It's kind of like, sometimes when people, like young adults, go off to college, right? And it's maybe the first time that they've really been away from home. They can get homesick, right? And sometimes some people will go home that very first weekend, or they'll go home every weekend the first month or two, right? Because it's kind of like, well, I'm not really ready to be at college yet, so I'm going to go home on the weekends, right? And some parents will be okay with that. Some parents may say, you need to stay and get used to your new surroundings. Some people would call that a little bit of tough love, saying that's where you need to be. It's kind of like, I think Spirit is saying, you're better off to stay at college and start making some new friends. You're better off at college than reverting back to going home. And it doesn't mean that you can't call home, right? Or go home after the first 2 months or something like that. But it's like, allow yourself some time to get used to your new life. That is your new life. And if you revert back and go home every weekend, right? And then the problem is that all the fun is kind of on the weekends. You're not having the opportunity to make new friends and to truly step into that energy. Yeah, this is beautiful. I feel like you're allowing yourself to have peace with the spiritual journey and have peace with yourself about this new version of yourself. It does mean, here's the thing, that you do have to allow yourself to let go of some parts of the caterpillar life, right? And that's the hard thing. I think, sometimes when we step into our spiritual self, it does mean that we have to also say goodbye to parts of ourself that at one time we may have enjoyed, right? But it's not about focusing on what you're losing. It's focusing on what you are gaining. And here's the thing, you're gaining peace. It's so interesting because I was just reading this morning about the definition of spirituality. And the definition of spirituality is having a true sense of peace with yourself and your world. And I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. It was, and my camera said 11:11 at that time, right? It's kind of like the energy of understanding that true spirituality is having peace. It's not, perhaps part of your past life had true excitement to it, parts of excitement, but then also parts of chaos and depression, right? But those highs and lows, okay, may have made you feel more alive. And this newer version of yourself is this peaceful version where maybe there isn't as much elation, okay, and depression. It's an energy of waking up every day and having that sense of true peace and joy in your heart. And just being okay with who you are, right? Having peace with who you are. Because I feel like that's hard. That's the part of it. You're coming apart. You're feeling as if you're coming apart. You're fearing that part of you is literally being torn apart because part of you is still maybe craving or thinking or being conditioned to believe that the past, parts of the past is who you should be. Yeah, this is a true transformation. Discovering within yourself who you truly are and being at peace with that, right? Okay, so let's take a look at your present energy. Yes, you're just, it's the Two of Swords. It's kind of a crossroads. It's kind of like, what version of myself do I want to be? Do I want to be the caterpillar or do I want to be the butterfly? And allowing yourself a little bit of grace to love yourself, solitude, not allowing other people to kind of comment on what it is that brings you this sense of peace within yourself. It's so true. We look at social media or we look at what our friends are doing or our family or, it's just so interesting how people can ask us about ourselves and then it can trigger us, right? It can trigger us so much. I went to dinner last night with a girlfriend of mine and, I moved into a new home a few months ago and it was just like a litany of questions. What have you done with this? What have you done with this room? What are you doing with this room? And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm just enjoying my new home. I didn't know I had to do all of this work too. And I have been doing a lot of work around the house, but it's kind of like, I think that's it. It's kind of like, and she meant it in a very good way. I mean, she really did. But it was kind of like, wow, can't I even catch my breath? And I think that's it. I think you have people around you that are kind of like, you've gone through a big transformation. Maybe you made a lot of change in your life in a short amount of time, like I did. I am a Leo rising. And people are kind of like asking you, oh, well, what are you doing now? I feel like this is just a time to kind of catch your breath. Go within. What brings you peace? What brings you joy? And there could be people or situations in your life. Yeah. This is kind of like you stepping into this beautiful new world of allowing yourself to venture forward in the sense of you have the Three of Wands, of venturing forward in this energy of true love for yourself, of understanding that, okay, it's a little bit like jumping off a cliff, okay? It is a little bit like that, because there's the part of you that wants to be really grounded, right? And there's the part of you that wants to be peaceful in your life, right? To be the Empress. This is the Empress energy, right? Of loving the life that you have. But it's kind of like you almost have to get really good at understanding, what does that life look like? Not the conditioned version that you have perhaps had your whole entire life, right? Or the parts of your past life that you really and truly enjoyed or thought that you wanted your whole entire life. Is that who you still are? It's kind of like stepping into being the butterfly, but not being sure of who the butterfly really is. It's about setting your intentions, not based on what other people want for you, but based on what it is that you want for yourself. And I think, to be honest, the energy that I have in my heart chakra, I think that this scares you so much. And I feel like it's really because you're afraid of being judged by other people. You know, people that are close to you. You know, people like my friend who wants my house to be, you know, decorated after 2 or 3 months. It's kind of like, I'm not even sure. You know, I feel like I'm a little bit of a butterfly right now. And it's like, I'm not even sure how I want to decorate my house. It's like, I'm just sitting and enjoying it at this time. That brings me peace. I will decorate my house, right? But it's kind of like, I'm just sitting with it. I'm enjoying it for what it is at this time, and allowing myself to step into the energy of what is it that the butterfly version of myself wants in the house. Yeah, this is dropping the burdens of trying to please other people, right? And allowing yourself to get really inspired by what it is that you want for yourself. You have this hermit energy twice. For some of you, it may mean that you pull your energy away from people and situations in your life right now that are causing you this sense of, I don't know, who am I, right? Because you're feeling your energy in that as a butterfly. You're stepping into that energy. But it means that a lot of your caterpillar friends, relationships, jobs, situations, right? You're disconnecting from them, and it's kind of like, okay, how do they fit into my butterfly version? Some may not actually move forward with you. Others may, but you have to allow yourself to get really strong in being a butterfly so that you can build those healthy boundaries and say to your caterpillar friends, we can be friends, but this is my newer version of myself. There's new boundaries that I have now that I'm a butterfly and not a caterpillar. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, it really is. I mean, part of it is that, you know, I've recognized that being a butterfly, I have a little bit of a longer morning routine, okay, to kind of like set my day. So before it may have been like 15 or 20 minutes. Now it's more like an hour, right? And so it's understanding, okay, that means that I have to revamp the rest of my day. And sometimes it does mean that I have to say to a friend, you know, I can't meet you for breakfast. Why can't you meet me for breakfast? Like, we always used to meet for breakfast. Well, I have something that's really important for me. If I don't allow myself to have my morning routine, the rest of my day, I have noticed, is not in alignment at all with what I want for myself, right? So I can meet you for brunch maybe, but I can't meet you for breakfast. And that sometimes does kind of like cause a little angst in some of our relationships, but it's understanding this is something that's really important to me. I do want to be a butterfly. I don't want to be a caterpillar again, right? So I have to allow myself to set these new healthy boundaries with my caterpillar friends. So let's take a look at what your advice is. Yes, you know, you have friends and colleagues And then I do feel like you have the death card. Either some of these relationships will have to either end so that you can truly step into your butterfly energy. But understanding that if you have to allow yourself to let go of some of those relationships or those types of relationships, those caterpillar relationships, you're making room for new butterfly friends, right? And at the same time, if it's not that those are relationships, especially good friends or family, that you don't want to end it with, it's kind of like you have to still transform it. You have to have new, healthier boundaries, okay? Allowing these people to know what's really and truly important to you. And then you have education. I think for some of you, it is about stepping into the energy of being a teacher for other people. I think you're being an inspiration to the people around you by stepping into your butterfly energy. As difficult as it is, stepping into it and owning it and saying, this is where I find my happiness, right? And it could be, you might have some friends that like to go out on Saturday night and party or whatever. And you're kind of like, that was in my caterpillar days. In my butterfly days, maybe I enjoy staying at home and listening to soft music and, working on my house. Whatever it is, it's kind of like, first of all, you have to get okay with it so that you can be strong in your own intentions of how you want to move forward in your life. First, you have to get really strong in it. Then you can have those healthy boundaries and allow yourself not to flip-flop between being a butterfly and a caterpillar. Yeah. I think you're walking away. You're walking towards something. You have the King and the Queen of Pentacles. I think for some of you, this has to do with perhaps romantic connections or deep connections, right? People in your life that, are really in alignment with you and your butterfly energy. But it's also about understanding you can't hold back who you are anymore. It's time to walk towards your Nine of Cups. And that may mean that you have to take a look at what it is that celebration means to you, right? It may not mean going out on Saturday night and partying anymore, right? It may mean that you would rather be in the comfort of your own home, cooking a really nice meal. I recently bought a little fire pit for my backyard, and it was like, I really enjoy just sitting out there and looking at the stars and having my fire. It actually brings me this sense of peace and enjoyment, right? Instead of, going out and not that it's not about going out and having friends and all of that. It's not that, but it is about understanding what brings you peace at this time and being okay with what brings you peace as a butterfly. Beautiful energy. I do feel like there is something that you're reclaiming your power. Let's go back to that. You're reclaiming your power because with the number 4, you're getting really good at what brings you happiness and joy. And I feel like you may have been tested lately by your caterpillar friends. Testing what it is that brings you happiness and joy now that you're a butterfly. All right, let's pull a soul truth card for you, Leo, for some final advice. And I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. Am I focused on what I want most? Perfect, right? This is the energy of what do you want? What does this sense of peace look like to you, right? Allowing yourself to set your intentions of having peace for yourself, not necessarily peace for everybody else that's in your life, right? The focus is on what brings me peace, what makes me happy as a butterfly. All right, one reason so few of us achieve what we truly want is that we never direct our focus. We never concentrate our power. Most people dabble their way through life, never deciding to master anything in particular. Power. Right? Both of them are about power. Stepping into your power. What you focus on grows. Today, ask yourself, is my life a reflection of my values, or do I need to make adjustments? Prioritize. That's exactly what this is, right? It's kind of like understanding what you focus on grows. And then is your life a reflection of your butterfly life, or is a reflection of your caterpillar life? And I think that that's where you're just kind of like sitting in the midst of. That's why I think you're being asked to just kind of like take some time, right? To sit and ask yourself, what does that butterfly life look like to me? It's not about dragging all the caterpillar visions of yourself to the caterpillar stage, right? And just sitting in the energy of, oh, well, I've upgraded, I'm more spiritual now, is really about stepping into the energy of understanding, yeah, I'm a butterfly now. So my life may look different than it did when I was a caterpillar. And it definitely will. All right, Leo, I'm going to leave it there. I wish you so much love and light. Thank you for being such a leader and loving light in our world. You definitely are setting the stage and inspiring others that are around you, whether you recognize that or not. So thank you so much for being that loving beacon of light. And I really and truly do appreciate you and all your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing. I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.